Hello, everyone. Welcome to Getting into Triathlon for the first time. I'm here with Natalia Flores. I'm Jill Adelson, the Chapel Hill Ambassador of Awesomeness for She Tries. We're just going to chat with you today about the She Tries events, about doing your first triathlon, about preparing for it. So, Nat, to get started, why don't you kick us off with an introduction about you and how you got into triathlon?
Awesome. Thanks, Jill. Thanks to She Tries for having me. And thanks for those who are joining us or watching the recording. Like Jill mentioned, my name is Natalia. I'm actually based out of Charlotte, although I did do Chapel Hill She Tries last year. I started my triathlon journey. I can't believe I say this, but in 2016, and I did a first timer program through Try It for Life for the similar race we had at that time before She Tries took over it. So I've had lots of years of experience either doing the race or volunteering for the race. And then last year, obviously, was very exciting to see the She Tries kind of take over of formerly Rambling Rose and what that meant for our communities and for continuing that tradition of uplifting women in triathlon, getting us started. And that's where I got my start. And that is a space that I think is really important because triathlon tends to be an industry, a sport that doesn't feel welcoming all the time. Whether it's as a first timer, a newbie, or as a female, or if it's mom, or if it's your aunt, if it's grandma, if it's your sister, it's just it's definitely a space that sometimes you didn't feel welcomed in. And I felt welcomed with open arms from day one, and that continues to be that case in this space. And I think it opens the doors, not just for you to become healthy or more healthy, or maybe dive into healthier lifestyle that you didn't think you even belonged in. And then that actually has opened doors for a lot of other stuff in other spaces in your life. I have seen women do their first triathlon, and it's the first time that they realize that they could do something different. Maybe someone told you along the way that you couldn't do it. Maybe someone doubted you. Maybe you doubted yourself, and at some point you realized you could. And that moment of realization that you could do something means, well, what if? What if I could do that other thing? What if I could go for that promotion? What if I could go for that move? So to me, the world of triathlon just opens doors. So I think that was probably a long-winded intro, but here I am. Oh, and you're on mute, Jill. We're gonna have this the whole time. Just it's fine.
Yeah, the life of being home with kids around the house and trying to mute background. Um, and so that was a fantastic kickoff and kind of promo there for She Tries and female only events. And I
Yeah.
just want to say we have people kind of trickling in. And so just letting people know that this is just kind of a chat between Natalia and me about things. And please use the chat function to write questions that you have along the way, because we're going to be chatting for the next probably 40 minutes or so about things. Um, I, like you, Natalia, well, my plan was to start off with Ramblin' Rose.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, and I signed up for Try It for Life. Hi, Laura. And wanted and was doing it, and then COVID hit.
COVID. Yeah.
And so I actually have never gotten to do a pool triathlon or a She Tries triathlon. I once things opened up, Rambling Rose wasn't restarting and the timing didn't work, so I jumped right into Ironman North Carolina 70.3 as one does. But getting to be a part of She Tries last year, I was at two of the events, was so amazing. I was like, this is what I've been missing.
Like
Like
that's the
it's a
vibe.
completely
That's
different
the energy.
energy and vibe and being with all the women, and it's not that ultra competitive atmosphere. Like, yes, there are women who are super fast and
Way
are,
faster than me.
yeah, and are going out there to see how well they can do, but it's not the same competitiveness that we see when there are majority men, because let's face it, all the other races aren't just co-ed, it's mostly
Yep.
men.
And I remember at that time, because you and I go way back, at
Yeah.
that time and how you ended up getting your start was very different than for me because I came through women's only. I didn't know men in triathlon. I only
Yeah.
knew an event dedicated to women, to
Women.
uplift women, to train women, and after that is when I went into the space that it was male and female racers, and so I do have that privilege, and I do have that just loving space of where I started, and that has continued with me throughout my journey, which is crazy to me to think it's almost 10 years. But that is why I will always, continue or go back to making sure that other women can see themselves reflected in that community, right? Because that was really what I never thought I could until I saw someone else training for their first triathlon that was women's only triathlon, and
Yes.
well, if she can do it, I can do it. And so my greatest like aha moment was like one time I was like sloshing through the streets, trading for something, and my neighbor's like, "Well, I saw you could do it, and I thought I could do it." And I was like, "That's exactly what I'm going for because I'm slow as molasses." But I try to have a good time, and I try to keep moving, keep my body moving, right? And by the way, along the way, I've made some amazing friends, some
Yes.
amazing connections, and I have also, groups in the triathlon space that I feel safe in and I feel seen in and I feel like I could train with, race with, and just connect with. And I don't think we as women have a lot of those spaces.
I agree. And I'm going to kind of give a plug here for the She Tries Journeys group in Facebook. That if people watching this have not discovered that group yet, I highly recommend joining it. I'll put a link to it in the event when we're done with this, as long as Natalia reminds me, probably. Uh, so we'll put a link there because it is a great way also to find people who are training for the same event as you if you're doing a She Tries event. So if you are in the Chapel Hill area, finding someone who wants to ride bikes or go for a run, or if you're in the Charlotte area, find someone who's gonna go on that nice trail all the way out to South Carolina, as we did once. So there are lots of options, and it's a good place to ask questions. Obviously, we're going to be here for questions for a while, but that's a great place as you're training to come up with questions and start to develop that community. Because for some of the She Tries races, there are Try It for Life groups, but for some of them, there are not. And so it's about finding groups within your own community. And we're trying to build that up through the She Tries journeys, where you have kind of your virtual community, but also can reach out. I know a couple of people on there who have met up and ridden around Chapel Hill, get used to some of the hills that are here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we actually, Natalia and I brainstormed a list kind of stuff, and we just didn't naturally talk and hit on a lot of the different things we had there. Let's take a moment, and I know we have at least two questions that were posted in our group. So let's take a moment and talk about those two questions before we get too into things. The first one's very much a logistical question. Is the bike course available on Ride with GPS or some other program? And the answer is it is for Ion. So for the Ion race, it is available. For the other She Tries events, there it is not. It is something kind of on the wish list to do this year. I personally hope to do it in summer for Chapel Hill, so it won't be ready for a little while. But you can go on the She Tries website, and it has the course,
Right. I was
like
gonna say
the
that.
directions.
Right. The course maps are there for all of the races. And if I'm not wrong, so Jill, you can correct me, and I think I'm peeking at maybe Angie there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think something that's been happening that's really cool or will continue to happen is previews of the course for the
Yes.
races. So there are specific events to do that preview. I think there's one coming up even here in the Charlotte area.
Yep.
So you do have a couple of options to kind of get a sense of what the route is.
Yeah. And I'll say for Chapel Hill, even once I make the ride with GPS, I would not suggest training on that route because it does go onto a major road that I would not feel safe, especially if I were a beginner, riding my bike to be on without the cones being out there and safety being out there. So like when we do the course preview, we ride out to that road, we kind of look at it and then we come back a different way. So just keep that in mind if you do follow a ride with GPS to stay safe on your routes, to think about that. Our other question that we had was about
And
the pool and also about how many people to expect. And I'll say right now we're at the point where all the events are about 250 to 300 athletes. We have room to grow, especially in our North Carolina event. So invite lots of people to come do them. Um, One thing I thought of while you're talking, Nat, is another option if you're not ready for triathlon or you don't have a bike, is there is the relay option. The two
we
of
still
us
have
have
duathlons,
Yep, the two of us have done a relay with another friend where I swam and Nat did an amazing job biking.
and we had a runner.
And then we had a runner. So relay is a fantastic option. Another one is you can do duathlon.
Mhm.
So you can do the a run, then a bike, then a run. And some of our events have an aquathon. So you can swim and bike. So lots of options there. And then two of the She Tries events even has a separate kids event. So for girls to do.
Well, I believe even the regular women's race is 10 and up. So like
Yes.
my kiddo has done the like a 10 and up. They had done back in the day, it was the bike and run. No, swim and run. Yeah, swim
Yep.
and run. So I think that's one, I love that the age is so young that you could start. And I've seen either, kids kids do it or a younger sister. I coach with my husband a swim team over here. So sometimes some of our swimmers are like, "Oh, I could do that." And so they start getting into the triathlon world. But yes, that's a really great and excellent point. Again, like in my case, I did have the training and the support from another group to get me to that start line, which was very intimidating and daunting at the time. Looking back on it, again, what a privilege to have had that.
Yeah.
Um, but there are, groups, there are training if needed, but at the very least, there are other options, right? If you're just not
Yep.
ready to commit, and if you're thinking about it, right? If you're thinking about it, you don't even want to think about it, but you don't want to think about it, like you're
Yep.
not ready, then you can go and cheer on a friend, or you can volunteer and you
And
can
get a
just be in that
cool pink
space.
shirt.
Yes, be in that space because I have been there in the past where you see someone else do this. You see someone else do this and it inspires you and it motivates you. And that's really powerful. So if you're signed up and you're ready, great. And if you're not, you can just go peek to check it out, volunteer, hopefully. And then if you're not ready yet, but you'll be ready for the next one, recruit a friend, get someone to go and train with you and get ready and start your triathlon journey with a friend.
Yeah, my daughter the other day, she's almost 11 and just mentioned, she's like, girls can do it, right? And then her first thought was, well, I do swim team. So, and I have a friend who does girls on the run,
Yeah.
and I'm sure we can find someone to bike. Well, she asked me to bike, and I said, I'm running
Well, I've
if it's
done,
Chapel.
I have
Yeah.
done a race with my kiddo.
Kiddo. Yeah.
Like I was the biker
Yeah.
because they were really, really young. They weren't comfortable on the road, so I was the
Yeah.
biker. Um, but
Yeah.
yes, I used to coach Goater girls on the run. So again,
Uh,
I have a couple of Goater girls that decided to do something because it's really interesting once you're in that space, right? Like if you never saw yourself in that space and you're like, well, I used to be a runner, so I could do this. I could add a bike or I could add swim, or I'm a swimmer, but I've never biked. Like so I think it's just a really great first timer event.
yes.
It again, if I rewind time, I trained for 3 months to get to that start line. And maybe someone else is fortunate enough to be able to just wake up and do that. And that's
Yeah.
great. That wasn't my case. It was all pretty much, new to me. There were moments where you think, I know how to swim, and then you look at like a swimmer swimming nonstop, and you're like, oh, that's not how I swim. I'm just struggling to make it to the end of the pool, right? Or you see cyclists, like clipped in and aero helmets, and you're like, I'm just trying to stay like upright.
Yeah.
And then you've got runners that are really fast, and you're like, I just want to finish in one piece and go get a pizza or a burger. Like
Yeah.
that, my vibe. And I don't know if Denise is on here, but she's another ambassador for She Tries. But she was a volunteer when I did my first triathlon, and she remembers me in transition taking my time because I had to put on my tutu and my tiara because my finish line photo is going
Good.
to have me in a tutu and a tiara. Um,
Yes.
so we all bring our own personality
Mhm.
into it, um, but again, whether it took you 3 months,
Yeah.
3 years, or you just woke up like this, all are welcome.
Yeah. I had when I was transition captain at Winston-Salem, one of my favorite moments was there was a woman who came and was asking me how to put her helmet on because she bought a bike and helmet off Facebook Marketplace that week. She's like, I saw it. I wanted to do it. I'm gonna challenge myself. And like every time she came into transition from the swim, from the bike, her smile was bigger and bigger. Like she was so excited. And at the end to be like, I did this, and then there are, like you said, the people, I'm the same way. Give me a plan, let me train. And then like this is the culmination, the red carpet for all that work we did. So if you are planning to do a She Tries event and you want to train for them, because like I was a runner and I was like, I can run, I know how to do a running plan, but how do I know how much to swim or how much to bike or like I don't want to overdo it, but I don't want to be underprepared. When you sign up for She Tries event, you get a free training plan. And so you have that, you can customize it as you want to fit your life, but it gives you that nice basis of what to expect so that you can swim 250 meters, bike about 9 miles, run 2 miles.
Yep.
Yeah. So the other part of the question was about the swim. So we'll get started
Oh, are
into
we
some
still
of the,
answering that question? Oh, wow. We
yeah,
just
yeah.
went off on.
How close to your race is the plan delivered? I'm going to let Angie or Sarah maybe type that in there and then we'll read it out because I don't actually send the emails. So I'm not sure when they send that out. Um, I will let you know I am working on the Chapel Hill one. And if you want it earlier than it's sent out, you can always shoot me an email and I will get it to you. Um, and Sarah says you get it when you register. So
So
that is.
double check your emails.
Yeah, double check emails. And if you don't have it, you can always shoot us an email, but you get a link in your registration confirmation email. So, yep. So you'll get that. So when you get there race morning, we'll start there and then we'll get into their swim question. When you get there race morning, well, the day before, you have the option to come to packet pickup. If you can come, I highly recommend you go ahead and come because it's so much fun at the She Tries Expo pickup. There's all the sponsors there. You get to go around and get their signatures and talk to them. Some of the events will have some fairy hair or something like that. There's your goodie bags. So, and it also just kind of takes some of that stress off of race morning to come. Get your shirt, get your race number, all of that. You can get your body marking the next day. So body marking is just they write your number on your arm and on your leg usually. And so you do that or race morning, you come and do that. You get your race number again. I highly recommend if you're going to invest in one piece of equipment that does not cost much, get a race belt. Like, because you have to wear a number for your run. You don't wear it to swim. You're not going to wear your paper bib while you swim.
Well,
You don't have to wear it while you bike and listen to it flapping, but you can. So especially if you're not going to put on a different shirt after you swim, having that belt will let you just put a belt on and not worry about pins while you're in transition. So you come in, we'll have racks for you to put your bike on. There will be people in transition to help you and get your bike on.
not just people, Jill. Volunteers with
Yours.
smiling faces
Yes.
that are there to answer any question that you might have
Yeah.
or help you out. So
Yeah.
you're going to be jittery, you're going to have some nerves, right? And that's okay, and that's
Yeah.
normal. You're going to get through that, but just so that once you get there, you are supported and there's people,
Yes.
guiding you which way to go, what to do. and getting you kind of like ready, set to go race.
Look for these shirts because these are our volunteer shirts. So yeah, you get there, they'll help you rack your bike. You will see, like Nat said, bikes of all different types. You will see people who have road bikes. You will see a few triathlon bikes. You will see hybrid bikes. You will see fat
Mountain
wheel
bike.
bike, mountain bikes. Like you will see everything. It they're all fine. Like whatever bike you have. Some people will have flat pedals and have the advantage they don't have to change shoes. Some people will clip in. And so, you will see all sorts of things and just know that what you have is perfectly fine. That you don't need to go out and invest in some super fancy bike in order to compete in a triathlon. So,
The you really need a
mhm.
couple of things. You need a helmet, you need a bike. Make sure you put air in your tires. You need your goggles and your swim cap is provided, or you have your own. And then you need sneakers. Like
And
that's
a
it.
sports bra.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Good, heavy duty sports bra for the girls.
Yeah. Um, and so we'll talk when we're done, we should talk about what to wear.
Yeah.
But we'll continue this thought first because we both will go all different directions, I know. Um, as Natalia said, you should always pump your tires. Like when we were doing the course preview, we had a couple people who were going slow and we're like, well, if your tire's flat, that's going to affect how hard it is. There are mechanics there, so if you do have an issue, they can help you out. So you're just there getting everything. You have a space next to your bike to set your run shoes. If you have a water bottle, yes, a small
Small little space.
like hand towel
Yeah.
space. Yes. Um, as Natalia said, you will be given a cap. You can wear it, but you don't have to. So it's all what you're comfortable with. If you think you might want to wear a cap, try it out before race day. Get a cap, try it out. I know when I started, I'd never worn one before and had to I was the one getting on YouTube, how do you put on a swim cap? Because I wasn't even around swimmers. I was like, what is there certain rules? Um, I also have paid a lot of attention to since then. Some people put it over their ears, some people don't. It's all personal preference. So whatever you feel comfortable with. When we go to swim, the question was, how do we line up for the swim? And you will have a scale of how long it takes you to swim, and it will be faster people and then going a little slower, until we get through them. So it's self-seating is what they call it, where you decide this is the pace I can go. And you really want to try to do it the best you can in figuring out what your speed is going to be, because if you're faster than what you put, you're gonna feel could feel frustrated with people trying to pass you. And if you put you're slower than you are, you could get frustrated because there are people ahead of you who are slower. So try to figure out, how long does it take me to swim 100 yards? The nice thing about She Tries, totally laid back. If you need to stop at the wall and rest and just let a couple people go past you. If you are struggling and it's a pool that you can reach, like the Chapel Hill pool, put your feet down. It is okay. The goal is to get you from the start to the finish. So whatever you have to do, if you need to breaststroke, if you need to backstroke, if you need to float for a moment, it's all okay. If you do decide to go on, we have some people who might be doing other events. If you're doing an open water swim event, they have kayaks and canoes and paddle boards. I guess not canoes, probably kayaks and paddle
And
boards.
paddleboard and boats.
And you can grab on and hold on and get your breath, just like you can get your breath at the edge of the pool if you need to. So don't let fear of what if I get tired, what if I get panicky stop you. People are there to support you, and it's a way to get through that. We're here to help you. Most of the pools, but not all, you can dive in, but you also can sit on the edge and slide in.
Slide it in.
You can, yeah.
And I would add, Jill, that when you're lining up, you
Hmm.
can also talk to people. You like, we're not
Yes.
robots. we are human beings, so you can talk to the person in front of you and behind you and say, "Hey, what's your pace? What's your pace?" And then you can even seed yourself within that group. And if you're super confident, then get in the front of that line. And if you're not so confident, get to the middle, go to the back. That's okay. It's really finding your kind of like your sweet spot, like you were saying, Joe. Like there's no point in saying I'm faster than I am or slower than I am. You're just not going to be in the best place if you really know where you're at. By the way, it's race day. You might all of a sudden swim faster than you've ever swam.
Yes.
Adrenaline kicks in, and all of a sudden you're like, "Wow, I went faster than I do when I normally like practice or swim." So just be, truthful to yourself as much as you can, and it's okay to ask folks. I remember being in line and someone was way faster. We were like, get out of here. You up, you go to the next
Yes.
number. Or if someone was really not confident, then like, don't push yourself. Go to where you're comfortable, go towards the back, go down a number. Like it is okay. The goal is forward movement.
Yes.
The,
And
the goal is get out of the pool, get on the bike.
that's right. So once you're done, you will get out of the pool and you will run and get back to where your bike is. Take your goggles and your swim cap off. Um, And then you'll put on your shoes. If you wear socks to bike, you'll put on your socks. You must put on your helmet before you get on your bike. Always have to have that helmet on. And then you will walk your bike or run your bike out of the transition area. There will be a line outside where you can get on. No one's going to ride their bike in transition because safety. We don't want people running in from the swim and people on their bikes. So you get on and you get to go bike. You get to dry off with that nice breeze going on. Um, and again, you will be ready by race day. Like, especially if you're on this call, all of you have time for whatever race you have coming up. You have your training plans, you're going to be ready. But if something happens and you look at that hill around the corner at Chapel Hill and you're like, today is not the day for this, you can get off and walk it. That's okay. So the goal again is to get to the end. So do what you feel comfortable with. Push yourself. Try it, but know that there's that safety there to do what feels good and right to you. When you're done with your bike, you're going to come back to that line and hop off, run it in, put it back, take your helmet off if you need to switch shoes, and then you get to go run. Oh, and put your number on.
In transition. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Um, there are also like tips and tricks on how to maybe set up your transition.
Hmm.
Practice at home. If you've got a training group, that's cool too. But you can always try it at home. Like I've tried it like in my in like my in front of my garage, right? Like, okay,
Yep.
what does it look like, right? Because race day, I don't know about you, Joe, but I forget my own name on race day. So like the more simplified I know that the more like muscle memory comes in that you're like, I put my socks inside my shoes. Okay,
Yes.
I don't have to go looking for my socks. So I try to put, what's always recommended is like put it in the order that you're in. If you're swimming, everything should be on you. There should be nothing in transition because
Yes.
you're not going back there. Everything for your bike should be together. I put it in my helmet as much as
Yep.
I can. That
I
way I
put my
grab the helmet,
sunglasses
it's
open so I
all
can just
there.
stick them on my head.
And then whatever I need to run with, like my bib, I put my bib over my sneakers. So it's, again, all together.
There.
You don't want to sit there. And I have been there going, where am I going? What am I doing? What do I need to put on? So the more streamlined you can have that, just practice it. Have fun with it. Like
Yeah.
time yourself. I took so long on my transition to my first race, and someone was like, did you like just stop and go to Starbucks or something? Was that an
Uh,
option? But the point is, get back out there, and then finish. And
Yeah.
to me, it's starting the race and then my finisher picks. Like, what does my finisher pick look like? So if you've been training and you've been racing, or if you've been training and you've been practicing, okay, can you also practice your finish line vibe? Like, are you smiling? Are you serious? Are you running it in? Are you jumping? Are you giving high fives? Like, what are you doing? Practice that because that's what's going to be in your pictures. If you've got family there, are you going to be looking for your family? Okay, how about you tell them where they should be and they should be looking for you there, or you be looking for them there? And I think I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. It's you against you. So there
Yeah.
is no time on these races. So
Yes.
whether you are first, or last, it's your race, it's your experience. And by the way, we will all be there. We will
Yeah.
all be there until the last finisher crosses
Yes,
the
I
line.
love that the She Tries event celebrates the final finisher. Like we do not start awards, there is a group who will come greet the final finisher, help run them in, that it's a big celebration because you finish wherever you finish in time, in order.
And
Like
And I have to give a
it's
shout out for that because that's not how it is at races. I'm a back of the packer. Like I have been there whenever the cones are gone, when they're breaking down the race, the finish
yeah,
sign. There's no water, there's not even a banana. So please know that every participant
yes.
gets the same attention, right? It gets the same support, whether you're first or last.
You were talking about practicing transitions. I actually did this just a week or two ago before my first triathlon of the season. I live at the bottom of a hill, so I was like, not here. I went to a neighbor's house, set my bike up, set my transition spot up. I walked, 10 yards away and spun in a circle and then tried to run back to my bike. So kind of simulating getting out of the water and then got my stuff on, went and rode my bike for 5 minutes, came back, switched, and went for a run. And I did it like 3 times. I'm sure the neighbors of my friend thought I was crazy as they just saw me biking and running by repeatedly. But it was so good to just remember, oh, yeah, I have to do this, or I forgot about doing that. So it's really good to practice those transitions and get used to them. And I will add a plug again. Chapel Hill, actually, we have one of our sponsors, Spark Endurance, Sarah Larson. She does awards for the fastest transitions.
I
So,
will not win, okay?
so even if you don't think you're going to win your age group, you could win because you are super fast at running from the pool and taking your goggles off and getting on your bike, or getting off your bike and putting your run shoes on. So it's totally worth practicing those and possibly getting an award.
I do also think it's important, Jill, to mention that obviously we're talking about, finish lines and you get your medal and it's a huge accomplishment, but it is a celebration. That finish line is a celebration of you, of your hard work, not just that day, right? It's what led up to
Yes.
this day. What choices have you made in your life that brought you here today? But it's really a celebration, and that celebration even continues after you cross the finish line, whether it's, sponsors or goodies that you have there. I mean, I remember um, Jill and I do like gluten free. Like we even have like a gluten free breakfast approved. Okay.
Yes.
So it's just again, it's a huge milestone. It's a huge accomplishment, and it's a celebration. So at the She Tries event, it's a party. It's a
Yes.
party from beginning to end. You just happen to be doing a triathlon in the middle of this party.
Yeah. And stay for the awards. Even if you don't think you got, first of all, you might have done better than you thought. Second thing is though, at the She Tries events, you get a little passport that you go around to the sponsors and have them sign it. And then it goes into drawings and there's all sorts of prizes and stuff. So it's a big party, as Natalia said, that we're giving things away. We're all celebrating. We're eating food. We've got our lesser evil popcorn. We've got our Harris
Has
Teeter
become my
seltzer.
household's favorite popcorn after trying it last year, by the way.
Hmm.
Yes.
I got a box of leftovers and they went very quickly at my house. Um,
And if folks are signing up for races at the beginning of the season, right? Like if your race is
mhm.
in May and June and you got like the bug, then please know there's more races later in the
Yes,
season too, all the way I think to September.
October.
Oh,
Yeah,
October.
because Winterville now, we added a new race in Winterville. That's going to be in October.
So there are,
Yeah.
options. Or if you signed up for like the Charlotte race, okay, well, on its heels is going to be the Huntersville
Winterville.
race, and you don't even have an excuse. They're 30 minutes from each other. The other races, you might have to
Yeah,
drive a little, but it's still a local race. It's still pretty
yeah,
much a local race that you could drive the same day, race and come back, or support our
yeah,
economy and go and stay in the area. But there's definitely a lot of options if you've in one of the earlier races, you can
yeah,
kind of come back and get a little bit more. Or if you
yeah,
signed up for a relay and now you're ready for the entire thing, or the other way
yes.
around. Sometimes you're like, I already did it. Now I want to go with my friends, get them into it, make a relay over there.
Yes. Because you came from Charlotte to Chapel Hill. It wasn't that bad of a drive.
I mean, I
No.
didn't drive, I made my husband drive. Yeah, we drove that morning.
Yeah.
We drove that morning. So that's also another perk of the women's only race series is that it's pretty local. So it's either North or South Carolina. You don't have to go too far to get that experience. And it does become like an exciting time in your life to have made this accomplishment, or achieved
Yes.
it or arrived. And then it's like, well, what else, right? Like this is the entry point into uh the sport.
Yes.
And whether it's next time you're gonna do a different race or bring a friend along, or that opens the door to an open water race, or maybe another race in your area, or a longer distance. Or even if I now have,
Mhm.
a love for swimming, and now swimming is part of my daily,
Yeah.
routine. So, to
Yeah.
me, the finish line is just the beginning.
Mm.
Um, so
And we both have a friend who she did for her kind of next goal. She did the whole She Tries series. She came to every one of the races as kind of a next goal of, I want to do this and be consistent
yeah,
spring. Like, and that's a lot because in the fall, they're like three back-to-back races. But it's so much fun and such a fun environment. And you see some of the same people at the events. So it makes it really like a family and a community. So let's talk about what to wear, because I know that's always a big question for new folks. And I'll start with there's almost no wrong answer. You will see lots of different things. What you have to keep in mind is you don't want to chafe and no nudity. So you cannot just completely change your clothes, take your swimsuit off, anything like that. I highly recommend not wearing a cotton shirt.
it happens.
No, no. So I have seen it. She tries, like, that's another thing I love is the variety in what people decide to do. That whatever you do, if you're comfortable in it, that's what matters. No one is judging you because you don't have the highest end triathlon kit. So starting with a basic option, wearing a swimsuit and then throwing on some shorts if you want a shirt on. If you need a bra to run in, you need to wear that under your swimsuit. Or I've seen people just wear their sports bra and either shorts or a bikini bottom, and then if they want a shirt, throw a shirt on afterwards. So those are kind of like the very basic options. As you move up, you could get a pair of tri shorts and wear it with a sports bra, and then throw on a shirt or stay without. Did
And
you?
Jill just mentioned for
Yeah.
those that might not know the difference. If we're looking at bike shorts, the bike shorts
Mhm.
might have a really thick padding that's not going to be waterproof, and you do not want to run in those. Great for biking, but a triathlon suit kit, or like you mentioned, the tri shorts, that means they literally can be used for all of the three sports. So you can swim, you can bike, and you can run with it. So if you're going to make an investment in something, it would be something that can be used for swim, bike, and run. So just want to make
Yeah.
that.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Yeah. And
That's
so
that's
then,
how I started. I started with
yeah.
like a tri top and a tri bottom because I was like, well,
Yes.
I have to change. I don't have to take anything off.
Yes.
I don't have to add. And then I switched from two pieces to the one piece. At
Yep.
first, I was like, I'm never wearing a one piece, and
Oh,
now
I
I'm
love
like,
my onesie.
oh, it just suctions everything in. So, oh, I like this better.
Yeah, so your options if you get a tri-kit are shorts with either a tank top or a shirt with sleeves. Um, or you can do a one piece that zips up the middle. So you put it on. I always walk around before race. I need to make multiple bathroom stops before
Oh,
race morning. So I leave my top down. I am most comfortable if I put a shirt or a hoodie if it's cold on, and I walk around like that until that last bathroom stop, and then I zip up and get in my super suit and then go and race. So there's lots of options. Natalia's wearing a Core Sports shirt there. Core is a sponsor of She Tries, and it's in women's triathlon company. So they specialize in kits for women and have free returns and exchanges. There's also a group on Facebook called Core Secret Closet that has secondhand if you want to get some to try out before you invest. And there are lots of other companies out there if you want to, try things out or look at your local try shop and see if they have different options to try out. But like Natalia said, do not wear the uh, cycling bibs because it's gonna hold all that water.
And
And
whatever you decide to wear for a race day, you just want to make sure that you have practiced training in it. You know, the rule is, number one rule is nothing new on race day. So you don't want to say all of a sudden, oh, I got this new thing, and you're going to try it out there the first time. So you definitely want to wear it, whatever it is, and try it out. And that way you can see if there was any chafing
yeah,
anywhere, if something rode up that you didn't feel comfortable with. Like just don't, we want to avoid
yeah.
that as much as we can on race day. So always just practice in what it is. And I think She Tries also has kits.
Yes, they have core kits.
They have core kits.
Yeah, they even have sleeveless one-piece ones. Um, yeah, and try them wet. Do not just ride your bike in them. Do not just run in them because things will chafe differently when it's wet, and things will ride up differently. I have been asked the question by,
Even if it's in your backyard with like a
yes,
hose or a kiddie pool, like you just
yes.
get on your bike wet. It's a whole other experience. There's nothing I can say or Jill says to tell you what that is like until you've experienced it.
Yes.
Um, you don't want to do that for the first time on race day.
Yeah. I have had people asked if they should bring big towels into transition. Again, you only have a small space. You will dry off while you bike. Like I don't take the
Get your
time.
wet.
Yeah, if you want like a little tiny hand towel, if you need to like wipe your foot before you put your socks on, that's one thing. But you don't really need to dry your body because you're going to get on the bike and you're going to have the wind going and it's going to help keep you cooler too, especially on those hot race days. So don't worry about it. Swim, you're going to run or walk from the swim to transition, and that'll give you some time. I personally am not trying to win Coach Sarah's award for fastest transition. I sit down to put my socks and shoes on. That also gives me a chance to kind of drip dry a little bit. Some people stand in transition, they can put their shoes on that way. I'm not coordinated enough.
We also have a bucket option. So if you get a bucket and get it at any hardware store, you can decorate it. You can put all your stuff in the buckets and carry it, and then you can use that as a chair as needed to just kind of a little stool if you need to put on your shoes or put on socks or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I do have like a little towel, and so that's the towel that I use. Like if I'm just maybe just need a little cleanse.
Yeah.
I'm not putting makeup on it there, but I am cleaning a little bit, or maybe drying in between your toes if you're like prone to blisters or anything like that. So to me, sometimes those 2 little seconds gives me comfort later, so
Yes.
I'll take them. Other folks don't even wear socks, and that's their decision. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And again, test it out. Try before race day. Do I like socks when I ride? Do I not? What about when I run? You know, what about when I'm wet and then I'm cycling and then running? Because again, that's a different experience. So try those things out. If it's raining, put your stuff into like a big Ziploc bag so that your shoes and your socks, you're not trying to get them on wet. You know, your bike seat, don't worry if it gets wet because you'll be wet.
We're already.
Yeah. So we have been talking for 45 minutes already, Natalia.
I
Um,
don't see any more questions
I
in the,
know.
but if someone has any more questions, I will mention that Sarah did also respond on the chat that if you have not received maybe your training plan after registering, you can email her if you need anything else.
If there's anyone who's on the call now who has a question, if you want to come off mute and ask, you can, or you can type it in the chat box. Natalia and I also can pop into the event and answer questions. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. And the two of us, I would not be surprised if we pop on again another date if there are more questions and we can talk some more specifics about transition or about just have a Q&A time. Thank you, Sarah. Uh,
There was one
Awesome.
question on Facebook, and it was
Yes.
about where will the recording be. So it was answered that the recording will be posted back on She Tries, the Facebook page, and that oh, okay, she shared the link. Someone shared. I don't know if it was
I was gonna
you.
say
Someone did it.
if they're watching this video, they got the
Okay.
link.
Okay. So, and
Yeah.
then it will be posted on there, and then it will also be emailed out.
Yes.
So thanks for
So,
that.
yeah. Thank you everyone who came and for putting up with our switch to Zoom. We really wanted to do Facebook Live.
Listen, if you kept getting all those notices of a tech trying, that's because we really were trying that many times and it was not happening. Like
Yeah.
we're here and we're happy to be here on Zoom.
Yeah. And the good news is a Zoom recording is forever. A Facebook Live recording goes away for better or worse. We are immortalized with this video. So thank you for those who came. Thank you for those who are watching. Feel free to reach out. My personal email address, since I'm not going to give yours, since I am an ambassador for Chapel Hill specifically, I can answer questions, but I can also answer general questions or put you in touch with people at different She Tries events is Jill Adelson. It's on the screen there, how to spell it, at gmail.com. So super easy to reach me and happy to answer any question. There really is not a dumb question when it comes to triathlon. Like we have been there, we have had the questions, and this is a safe place where you can ask those questions. We just want you to come out, have a good time, and have that finish line feel. Get those finish line pictures like Natalia does. She has the most amazing photos. I'm just like, I'm focused. I'm like running as hard as
I'm
I
focused
can.
looking for the camera.
Yeah, no, we have very different approaches to finish lines. I need more Natalia in my life at that finish line to enjoy and celebrate that moment. I come across the line and I can't breathe. So, yeah, different approaches. They're all great. And just come and have that finish line feel, get your pictures. The pictures come with your race entry. There is no charge for pictures for She Tries. I love that so much. I hate doing a race and then getting a link. You can pay $75 to see this picture of you. So you get all your pictures, you can remember that moment, and then come do another race or come volunteer at a race. We always love volunteers. And Sarah says, we can't wait to cheer everyone on. Bring your girlfriends and let's make it a party. So, yes, thank you for coming. We
Thanks for
will
having me.
see you at the events.
Happy racing.